Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode, I think it's 4, Nate, in the new studio.
Yeah.
How are we doing today, my man?
Pretty good. First one of 2022.
Yes, that's right.
Let's get it going.
That's right. First episode of the new year. So happy New Year to all the listeners or viewers on YouTube. We've promised the last few episodes we're going to be on YouTube back-to-back. Technical errors from yours truly. So
A lot of SD card malfunctions.
That's right. So I mean, I'm back on it. I'm confident that this is the one that will be on YouTube. But Nate, how'd you bring in the new year? How'd you bring it in?
Just pretty low key, honestly. I'm not a big New Year's guy.
Yeah.
I just don't like. It's just everything's such a time constraint. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we got to be here at this time. We got to be there at this time. We got to be at this spot for New Year's. You know what I mean? It seems like there's so many moving pieces, and it's always just such a mess. I hate the day.
Yeah, I've never been a big New Year's individual either, but especially this year in the COVID area, or even in the last few years, I haven't really celebrated. And like I used to in past. I think when I was in my young 20s, I would go out and light it up. And enjoy myself, but that certainly wasn't the case this year. Like yourself, I just kind of took it easy, and I think I was in bed before midnight, but I definitely heard the fireworks in the surrounding areas going off, and hopefully we start to put some negative things behind us in the new year.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Hopefully we get all this Omicron stuff a little dealt with, and that ends up being finished up with. And yeah, I don't know, man. It's just a weird. A lot of weird stuff going on lately. Definitely weird stuff.
Nate, I'm going to talk a little bit about my past few days. Just after Christmas, kind of heard a crack in one of my tooths, and I've been dealing with a bad toothache. And if the listeners, have ever had a toothache, it's a painful few days, and my dentist obviously was they've been closed, and they open up on the 3rd of January. So I've been fighting it in a big way. It was a big battle. I was losing sleep, and I had been taking a Tylenol every once in a while to help it out. Made the switch to ibuprofen.
Right.
I mean, I didn't realize that there was that much of a difference.
I assumed they were all the same: Advil, Tylenol, ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Generic. Like Walmart brand. Thought they were all the same thing.
They are certainly not the same. Ibuprofen is the
goat.
Is the diamond of them all for sure. The claret jug of painkillers. But no, it definitely it took away all the pain, and I've been able to operate back on my feet. So I'm happy about that, but
that's good. Toothaches are no joke, man.
They're not, man.
And like when I was telling you the other day about how when I had my wisdom teeth coming in, the dentists were just like, "Yeah, you're gonna roll with it." I'm like, "Gonna roll with it?"
I know.
Like I'm in excruciating pain for 3 weeks. I'm just gonna let it roll. Like, what am I? What is this insurance I have for?
Well, it's like those lunatics that go in and they're like getting a cavity done, and they're like, "Yeah, I don't need freezing."
Oh, or like someone who like doesn't want to get the anesthesia or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, just let me stay awake. It's like you got other issues, buddy. That's nuts.
Yeah, we are going directly from the dentist to the therapist.
And then you hear that story about those people that like do go to sleep, but then they're awake for the entire surgery.
Yeah.
Imagine that. I just started picture getting my like appendix taken out.
Yeah.
Being awake. Oh my! Slicing with a knife down your body.
I don't know. I don't know what it takes. Some serious mental toughness to be able to fight through that. Like when like they like tell you to like flag your arm if anything's going wrong. Like you're flagging your arm and you're looking for a shot of something.
But I don't think you can move in that situation.
Right? It's true. Yeah.
So it's just like you're sitting there wearing it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, obviously, last episode was our year in review, 2021 year in review. This episode, we'll be kind of catching up on all the news that we've missed. And Nate, one of the biggest headlines before we get into the big four leagues was the IIHF U18 Men's Championship. Obviously, the women's were canceled the week prior, but the men's ended up getting canceled after a few positive cases, 2 in the United States, 2 on Czechia, I do believe, and obviously the tournament was canceled, and a lot of uproar, around the sports world. Twitter is always a fun place to be when news like that drops. But Nate, yeah, the IIHF World Juniors canceled for 2021.
Yeah, it's too bad, man. I thought it was funny too. The Finland coach came out and he was just like, he's like, it had nothing to do with COVID. He's like, this tournament was just run like shit.
Yeah.
It was like, this is the worst thing I've ever been to for like an IIHF event, which is saying something.
Definitely.
I mean, they probably should have just bubbled it. It's kind of weird they didn't, where you're bringing in all these countries from all over the place. It's an 11-day tournament. Like, if you get one case, that's pretty much it.
No, exactly. So I guess, need to speak on your point with the Finland coach coming out and saying, like, the logistics of things were just terrible. I mean, the teams that were staying in Red Deer were in the same hotel as a wedding party, and there was a COVID outbreak in the wedding party. I think first things first is you got to buy out the hotels.
Yeah, I mean, how much the IIHF is rolling with cash.
Yes,
like just get the hotel
for sure. And I think so. You bring it back to the bubble point. I think because last year Edmonton had the bubble and successfully obviously ran the tournament. I think this was a get right year in terms of being able to have the fans, being able, and obviously, I mean, it took a turn for the worst. It wasn't able to happen, but they were trying to make do and make right in Edmonton, Alberta, and Red Deer, and give them, a true World Junior tournament. And I mean, who knows when it's going to get back there? And a lot of rumblings about a summer tournament. Nate, I don't know how you feel about that. I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean,
it's not even the same.
No,
it's like I get you want to finish it up, but then it just brings me back to the NHL bubble, and it was just like, it was cool at first. You're like, oh, cool hockey, and then after a bit, you're like, okay, I'm done with this. It's not going to be the same. It's going to be brutal, and who knows what they'll do? They'll probably bubble up, no fans, bunch of crap. Just cancel it, figure it out, do it next year. It's over.
Yeah, the time of year is almost perfect for the World Juniors in terms of the Boxing Day. Your families are together. It's almost it's like a family tradition type of deal, following the young prospects and yeah, like you said, I mean, I don't think that it would be the same come January.
No.
Or sorry, come July or June. We get the NHL playoffs. You got MLB in full swing. You got golf majors going on.
Yeah.
I mean, and plus two for Canadians. I mean, obviously, our lifestyles change dramatically come May, June, July. I mean, there's a lot more going out, outdoor activities. There's a lot. I feel as if people's lives are a little bit more busy come that time. With traveling and everything like that. But some other news, I guess, Nate, just before we move into the Big Four, was the Russian team and Czechia's team both kicked off the flights, and I think maybe
Czechia did too.
Yes, they did.
Oh, let's go.
So I think that we're making a little bit. It's getting more headlines than maybe it deserves. I mean, these are young kids, 16, 18 years old, just clowning around. Obviously, their tournament was just canceled. They're acting like idiots. They certainly wouldn't be the first 16, 18-year-old kids acting like idiots. But yeah, they're trying to smoke cigarettes on the plane. They're not masking. It's two different cultures kind of mending and trying to battle this virus and battle the behavior of 16 to 18-year-olds. So yeah, they were all kicked off their flights, made a big scene. The coaches, I guess, too, were smoking cigarettes and not wearing masks and singing and
playing like house music just out loud. They're like, screw off.
Yeah,
I mean, whatever. Like,
I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, it would have been tremendously annoying if you were on that flight and you had to leave the flight, and it was Calgary to Frankfurt. Germany and a lot of the World Junior teams kicked off those flights, and I don't know, they'll probably have to go through a few educational sessions on how you on proper conduct.
It'll be something. The mask thing kind of makes me laugh too when they're on the flight, because it's like, you want to talk about stale air for like 10 hours. Yeah. I don't think wearing a mask would make a damn difference on a plane.
Well, actually, they say that you don't have to wear a mask on a plane because of the air filtration systems they have in airplanes.
And why do they even talk about that?
I'm not sure. It's just protocol, and I mean, we're not getting into all that nonsense. But Nate, we'll move into the NFL.
Yeah.
AAHF is in the rear view. They're going to try to reschedule that, but I'm not sure when that's going to come. But John Madden, Nate, passes away. Rest in peace to John Madden.
Yep.
Obviously an NFL legend. Coached for 10 years in the league for the Oakland Raiders at the time, and was a broadcaster, and obviously was a big time legend. I mean, I don't think we understand the impact that he had on the game. But I mean, his name was on the video game, continues to be on the video game. So obviously,
how did he swing that? I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, what would you have to do? I mean, he didn't play in the league. He was like a practice squad guy for a year, I think. But, what would your type of impact would you have to have? I mean, obviously we know Tiger Woods' impact on golf. Yeah. But what type of impact would you have to have on the game of football to have your name on the video game?
Yeah. Well, I read something, too, that he was the one that wanted to push the video game to be, like, actually how football is, because I think before they had like an arcade version kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
So then he pushed it to be like the legit how a football game's played, and I guess he even like gave them plays from his like playbook and stuff.
Okay, cool.
For the game. So maybe there must have been some like long-term contract where it's like, my name's on this forever kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or else they would have gassed it. You know what I mean?
For sure. But no, I mean, man, if you look at his records, I mean, his worst record through his 10 years coaching was they played 12 game regular seasons. It was like 8-4.
Yeah,
was his worst.
That's his
like,
worst.
A lot of great seasons. Ended up winning a Super Bowl in '77, I do believe, the year that Tom Brady was born. Kind of a cool connection there.
That is a cool connection. Trivia yesterday.
That's right. But I think there was some controversy that came out during the week. Obviously, a ton of people reaching out and giving their condolences, and I mean, just an absolute legend of the game. But there was a lot of controversy on his takes on concussions. And if you've seen the movie Concussion, I'm sure that John Madden was a part of the NFL kind of managerial section of people trying to shut down the concussion. Hoax or whatever that he was calling it, or the NFL was calling it. Obviously, clearly we know now that
they're real.
CTE and concussions are certainly real and take a toll on the sport of NFL and NFL retirees. But no, that was kind of the negative side of the news, if there was any. I mean, there was definitely some people out there calling John Madden out for his stance on concussions and everything like that.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, let the guy rest. Like, what are you calling for his head now?
No, exactly.
I mean, you don't hear a thing about it until he dies, and then you're just gonna rip him in. Like, what? Who are these people?
Oh, I know. There'll always be the micro communities on social media that have that make a voice and bring these stories to light. But Nate, I think it was 15 Hall of Famers. The Hall of Fame finalists were introduced, and just some highlighted names that some of the listeners will be familiar with are Jared Allen, D-end, wore number 69 for the Minnesota Vikings for a long time. Rondé Barber was an incredible DB. Obviously, Tiki's brother, Devin Hester, famously ran back the kick in, I think it was 2008, at the start of the Super Bowl for the Bears. It was an incredible kick returner. Torrey Holt, obviously an unbelievable receiver for the Rams for a long time. Andre Johnson, beast receiver for the Houston Texans, and Richard Seymour, DeMarcus Ware, Reggie Wayne, Patrick Willis. A lot of names that football fans will be familiar with. I'm not sure what the voting process is like.
I was just going to ask you how many people get in.
So
the finalists.
So there'll be, I mean, I think it
seems to be 4.
Yeah, four to 6. But so there'll be a few guys. I think there's only 3 first balloters on this list. I think DeMarcus Ware and Patrick Willis are 2 of them. Maybe Andre Johnson. I'm not really familiar with who's the first ballot this year, but yeah, I mean, I think it seems to be, to me, Nate, that it's always kind of writers and publication votes that people who work for different publications get to vote on that, which is very odd to me.
I agree. A lot of the beat writers.
Yes,
I know. Right. What was it? I think it was Rookie of the Year a few years ago, and one of the Penguins beat writers, there was one vote for John Marino, and he had him first place for the Rookie of the Year, and it's like, dude, like. Yeah.
That's a one-way ticket to like not doing it ever again.
Well, exactly, right? It's like, I get you think he had a good year, sure, but like you're gonna give him first place over like, say it was like Cale Makar or something. It's like you're just literally pushing an envelope here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is for sure. But no, I mean, it's exciting because it obviously brings back some of the megastars that we've watched through the years of our younger years of watching the NFL. So it'd be interesting to see who makes it in. That's always a fun ceremony, and it honestly too, it is such a massive accomplishment in the NFL. I think they do the Hall of Fame the best, in my opinion. You get their face sculpted, you get the jacket that you can wear to different ceremonies. It's really well done in the NFL. It's a very huge accomplishment, and we tip our hats to those individuals announced. Nate, kind of moving into today's NFL, we dove through the past there. We got Big Ben. And Big Ben announcing to the media that this could be his last game at Heinz Field this week. It seems like everything, all fingers are pointed at retirement for this guy. So it could be an emotional one this week for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like he's been in the league as long as I've been alive.
Definitely.
It just seems like, I don't know, you always just think of Ben Roethlisberger. Jeez.
Yep.
What's another guy, Russell Wilson? He said he hopes it's not his last game in Seattle.
Yes.
Right? So
So we got a couple quarterbacks, a couple big name quarterbacks who are going to be playing in front of their home crowds that, like you said, could be their last time playing there. I mean, we think of Big Ben, a lot of his success came in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then, hasn't really been back to the Super Bowl. He had some great teams then. But yeah, I mean, when you experience the Super Bowl, what was it, 2005 and 2008. So it must have been 2007 when Devin Hester ran back the kick for the Colts. But yeah, so I mean, he hasn't won a Super Bowl in 15 years.
Yeah.
Or, that's bad math, but
pretty close though. 14. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
that's crazy.
So and he's been just grinding away, and he's kind of a guy. He's a big guy. He hasn't really been in the best of shape.
He's an absolute lunch lady out there.
I know. So he's hard to take down. We'll give him that. But yeah, I mean, he's had a tremendous career. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, no question asked. His statistics may not jump off the page, but certainly the 2 Super Bowl rings and just his ability to get the Pittsburgh Steelers to the playoffs year after year, it's going to be sad. I mean, I think we're kind of going to be going into a decade or decade or two of the NFL where we get a lot of the greats leave the game. I think Brady's going to be gone, Rodgers is going to be gone. You've got guys like, I mean, who knows how much longer Russell Wilson's got.
It's crazy when you see those guys too that like you grew up watching. They were just a lock, and now it's like moving into that next generation. It's always tough.
Hockey as well. I mean, we're on the back nine of Alex Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby, and
which is
Kenny
so
Malkin.
crazy
For sure. I mean, we were calling him Sid the Kid, and Anyway, life goes on. Life moves fast.
It's just how it goes.
No, exactly.
It's tough though.
But yeah, like you said, Nate, you brought up Russell Wilson. I did want to talk about Russell Wilson for a minute. Obviously, coming out to the media and saying too that this could be his last game as a Seattle Seahawk. It'd be interesting to see, where he might move on to if this is his last game in Seattle.
You got to figure he doesn't really want to go.
I mean, I think this is like, why wouldn't you just try to bolster the roster and make it better? I mean, changing offensive coordinators, playbooks, everything like that. It takes a little bit of time. Yeah.
And like where I'm just trying to think of what team he would go to that he would just jump in and they would have like a that is missing a quarterback. Like
there's a few teams. You think of the Saints.
What about Pittsburgh if
the Broncos,
Roethlisberger goes?
Yeah, I mean that could be.
That'd be a wild little switch up.
That would be a wild switch up. They've definitely got the offensive weapons for a guy like Russell Wilson. Yeah, it'd be interesting. That's going to be exciting to follow. Is the Russell Wilson saga in the offseason that he may have, and Aaron Rodgers retiring has kind of been floating around.
I can't see him retiring yet, though.
I know his level of play is too high, but who knows?
I could just see him bailing from Green Bay.
Yeah.
That's what I could see more of.
He's a wild card.
Retiring, yeah.
But
see what happens. It'll be an interesting offseason nonetheless. So
definitely. But before we get to the offseason, we've got week 17, week 18, and then the playoffs. So we're super excited about that, Nate.
Yep.
The playoff picture is still very not set in stone. We've got a lot of divisions that have yet to be decided. The AFC North comes to mind with Pittsburgh, the Browns, and the Bengals all kind of battling it out. So we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be an exciting week in football. The AFC South as well with the Colts and Titans. I mean, you have the AFC. Every AFC division seems to be, except for the West, seems to be up for grabs. So super excited about that.
I was gonna say when I was taking a look yesterday, I was like, man, these divisions are so tight.
It's crazy.
It's gonna be wild. Yep. I'd assume the Chiefs were already in on the bye, but like they're still pretty close. Like they're realistically are probably in on the bye, but it's still like we'll see what this week's gonna be big.
Oh, huge! What if the Chiefs won 9 in a row now? So
is it that high?
I think so. Yeah,
Holy
maybe
smokes.
8 in a row. Anyway, they've been on
getting
an
hot at the right
tear,
time
for sure, man. And we if you've listened, if you're a regular listener here, this was not any surprise.
No, this was called long ago.
Yes,
long ago.
Nate, moving into the NBA, oftentimes we're quick to maybe chirp LeBron or do certain things, but first and foremost, we'll wish LeBron James and Tiger Woods, who share the same birthday, a happy belated birthday. But LeBron James, he's just had such a tremendous season, regardless of the Lakers' success. And he's 37 years old now. And, man, what he's doing, is it fair to say it's flying under the radar a little bit?
Well, yeah. I mean, what was the post I saw the other day? Everyone was kind of calling him a bum, that he's washed up. But he's got better numbers than Curry, and everyone's claiming Curry to be MVP.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's definitely flying under the radar. Also, did you see his happy birthday posts?
I didn't.
Holy hell.
Was there a fleet of them?
Dude, he posted like 4 times and it was just like, this is 37. And he's just like flexing on the court. And then he's like doing something behind a Christmas tree. It's like, what?
Yeah, he's a handful on social media, that's for sure. But obviously, one of the mega stars of sports, and yeah, I mean, he had 43 points the other night. If you look at his like his last 10 games, I mean, he's been just 35, 38, 43. With 10 boards and anyway, he's just had an incredible run here. Buzzing like no other, and yeah, I think it was safe to say that his season is kind of going a little under the radar due to the fact that they haven't been as successful as some other teams in the West, and maybe some of the major accolades. But I was
still hovering 500.
Yeah, I was reading the other day, Nate, that he is the youngest to get to 1,000 points, 2,000 points, 3,000 points, 4,000 points, 5,000 points, all the way up to
32,000, right?
Yeah, so I mean that's an incredible accolade for LeBron James as well.
I saw that tweet too, and it was funny because it was 1K, 2K. It's the guy really could have just said 1K to 31K.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
saved himself some characters, but anyway, he went for it.
Yeah, put the range up, but
I guess it makes it look better like that.
Yeah, I think it's 36,000 because he's got 36,000 points, and then he's the first guy to have 9,000 rebounds and 9,000 assists paired with that 36,000 points. So yeah, I mean, what an incredible career. I mean, people argue that he's the best, he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I'm certainly all ears when I listen to a Michael Jordan, LeBron James debate. I can't really pick a side. I mean, obviously, I've watched a little bit more of LeBron James and understand his greatness. The thing for me I always revert back to the 2016 NBA Finals, how fantastic he was, and how great that comeback was.
It's tough. It's so hard to compare the generations too.
Exactly.
If only they were just playing at the same time, and you could really get an idea.
Yeah.
But whatever.
No, absolutely.
So it's going to be a lifelong debate for generations. You'll have the guy even you think to Bobby Orr in hockey, how good he was, but you have no idea.
No, exactly.
How do you know? You see a couple clips of the guy buzzing, flying through the air.
All we have is no, exactly. All we have is just the counts of hockey fans from back then. But I mean, from all accounts, it sounds like he was an absolute monster.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah.
But I assume the same could go for Jordan. I don't recall watching him play.
Yeah. Well, just I guess the biggest thing for me would have been The Last Dance. That was kind of how we learned about how, and I guess that was kind of a narrative too behind that. And it was Michael Jordan wanted that documentary made,
right,
so he could fight back against the LeBron James greatest of all time narratives that were forming. I don't know how much truth is behind that, but yeah. Funny about Isaiah Thomas, Nate. Isaiah Thomas obviously signed a 10-day contract with the Lakers. We talked about it a few episodes back, how he had 19 points, led the team in points that game, but doesn't sign past his 10-day contract, signs another 10-day contract with the Mavericks. So he's moving around. He's played in Sacramento, got a standing ovation. It's kind of odd how these 10-day contracts have come about with the COVID situations in the NBA. It's been almost comedic at times.
It's just such a short amount of time.
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous.
10 days.
10 days. It's all right, I'm off to Dallas.
Yeah.
It's is this? It just seems so video game-esque. Where it's all right, I'm peeling, going here, doing this, doing that, going to Dallas. Where's next, folks?
You're not unpacking your suitcase.
No, there's no need to.
You're living in a hotel, and you go strap it up, hit a few shots, and then maybe try to go, mix yourself into another organization that's struggling with COVID.
Yeah.
Nate, I did want to touch. I think we've talked about this countless times in the podcast, but I'm watching an NBA game the other night. It's the 76ers versus Brooklyn Nets. Incredible game. The Sixers ended up getting the upper hand. It was in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn had changed the court logo to the jerseys they were going to wear that night.
Okay.
The 76ers, their color scheme is white, red, and blue.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn Nets go with white, red, and blue.
Oh, they
for
did
the game.
the New Jersey Nets throwback ones?
Yes, for that game. And I was like, okay, one, I understand that, you want to bring back some throwbacks, you want to mix in some jerseys. I mean, the NBA does it more than any other league. But wouldn't there be a better game to do it against than
a team that
has those colors?
Yeah. It seems more often than not, too. Sometimes, I mean, we talked about it many times where you just go onto a game and then you're looking, you're like, who is even that?
I don't know what teams are.
Yeah. I know. It's wild. Even I think of the Raptors jerseys. I mean, they have the black ones with the red. They have the red ones with the black.
Yep.
What else? They have the gold ones.
Yep.
Gold?
I know.
What?
Yeah, they've got their throwback ones too with the I mean, I think there's 5, 6, 7 maybe jersey options for each team. And that's like for casual fans like us, maybe not maybe a little bit more than casual fans, but for oftentimes than not, like you said, Nate, you flick to the channel, you see that it's the Timberwolves versus the Lakers, and I mean, you may not know for the
Lakers
first 5
are wearing
minutes.
pink.
Yeah, you may not know which team's playing right off the get-go.
It's wild.
But no, I want answers on that. I want to know why, and there's certainly I've got a jersey targeted that I will be purchasing in the next few weeks. One of my favorite jerseys in the NBA. I won't tease that, but maybe I'll wear it during a podcast record. Maybe we'll both wear it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is, so I'm pretty in for that.
All right, Nate, moving into the NHL. Outside of the NBA, the NHL has been probably the league hit most by COVID. It's been a little upsetting, and last night, I know the two of us were tuned into to the Senators and Leafs game. No fans.
Yeah.
Brought back some terrible memories.
Yeah.
Some dark times of the COVID era of our lives, and really, I mean, you know, the NHL. I love the stance they took. They said we're going to be postponing games in Canada as much as we can because, you know, one, we need the revenue from the fans being there, and two, you know, it kind of puts a little bit more pressure on the government because it does seem a little ridiculous. I'm in no position to comment on this, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion when it comes to COVID. Mm-hmm. But when I'm watching a football bowl game or the outdoor game and there's 70,000, 100,000 fans watching, and then I flick to in Canada in Toronto and there's what is there, 500 people in the building, just friends and family of the players. It just seems to me that there's something off.
There's something off big time. I just can't believe we're back to the fact that they played with no fans last night in the building.
Yeah.
You know, we're vaccine after vaccine. The States they don't care at all, it seems like.
No.
And here it's just like one thing goes wrong. Like, what's going on with Quebec? They're shutting down hard here.
They're on a lockdown.
Yeah, lockdown.
Unbelievable that we're back here.
So, like, Montreal's not going to have fans for the foreseeable future.
I foresee January being kind of it's going to be a bit of a teeter-totter in the sense where the public and government are going to be going back and forth and saying, and then I think February we open things up and say, listen, we've all been vaccinated, or we've all had the opportunity to be double vaccinated. We've had all of the opportunity to do the things and put the things in places to not shut down society and not revert back to our old ways. I think that we've got to move forward, man. We need to have life back to normal sooner than later, just for everyone's mental health, for the benefit of society.
Well, I mean, we're 2 years into it, and I mean, for the most part, I feel like everyone's been pretty like they've listened pretty well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how bad has it been? Like, maybe a few people have not really cared, whatever. But like, was it? You know what I mean? Like, how long do we do this for? Yeah. It's not ending, and so it's like, let's just get over it.
For sure. And you've got to think too of the long-term effects it has on certain individuals. And Bob McKenzie said it best. Bob McKenzie talked about it. I mean, there's two sides to this. There's the people who say, listen, we've done all these things. I'm probably in the pool that we fit in, and we just got to move on. And then there's the fact that people are saying, listen, this is going to affect a lot of the population that's going to need hospital care, and our hospitals aren't bolstered. They're not prepared to handle the volume of people that are going to be coming in. So we need to settle it and put a cap on it and protect ourselves in every which way. And there's the middle crowd probably, which understands both sides, which I think we can maybe fit in. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how we move forward. But I think I really do deep down that I just hope that the worst is behind us, that this Omicron variant does what it needs to do to move into 2022 in a more positive manner, and we don't have to think and deal with COVID as we've had to in 2020 and 2021.
Well, I took a look at the Spanish flu just to see how long it took and how it kind of went, and it was like 2 years, 2 months it ended up lasting. Okay. And it kind of went the same way as COVID. Like, the first wave was like not that serious, the second wave was like pretty deadly, and then so it'd be like basically the same matching as the Omicron.
Yeah.
And it got pretty like weak, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you can't really compare the two 100 years apart, and I have no clue how any of this stuff works, but I'm just saying it's about the same way. So maybe it was almost done.
Yeah, we're going to hope so, Nate. We really are. So obviously, we've talked about it a couple episodes back. The NHL will not be going to the Olympics this season.
Yeah.
Brad Marchand's comments I loved it.
I liked it too.
I loved it. So he came out and he said, listen, we, in the collective bargaining agreement, we said that we wanted to go to the Olympics. Obviously, they took that. There was some writing in the legal documents that said that if there was something going on, that the NHL could step in and revoke those rights to go to the Olympics, which they've done.
Of course.
And Brad Marchand came out and said, listen, don't pay us. Do what you need to do. You're going to be getting your money back in escrow for all of the hockey related revenues that you don't. So you're going to be making all the money anyways.
Yeah.
Very disappointed. And honestly, it's fun to see the passion from some of these mega stars come out and say, we really wanted to go. It really puts into perspective for fans, how important the Olympics is to these NHL players and how important it is to their legacy. I mean, these guys are devastated they can't go.
Yeah, it sucks. And obviously if the circumstances were better, they'd be there, but it is tough. Like, I'm not sure if I was in that position, I would obviously want to go, like say I'm him, but it's like, I just can't imagine getting stuck in China for 3 weeks in a hotel. Yeah. You know what I mean? That would be the worst part, but
Steven Stamkos came out and said it's interesting. He said, like, that's a misconception that's floating around. He said that's worst case scenario. Like, people are kind of floating around that 3 to 5 week quarantine. That's like very worst case scenario. He said that people didn't understand, and I don't even think that the exact measures have been released. But I mean, the American women's team was announced last night. The women will be playing in the Olympics. Yep. And Nate and I actually conversed. What are your thoughts and what is your opinion on sending the Canadian World Junior team that we just iced to play in the Olympics for Canada?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, they could definitely compete. I think, like we said on the way, I think Russia would beat them down, most likely. I mean, they'd have a pretty good KHL squad, I'd imagine.
Yes.
But, I mean, why not? It kind of feels that we get that Olympic void and we get the World Junior void all at once. So I'd be down for it.
Yeah.
And why not?
Yeah.
Like, they got some good players there.
Oh, yeah. You've got guys who've got NHL experience and Perfetti and Neighbors and McTavish.
Well, McTavish looked like he was about to run through a wall, dude. That kid was going off.
Yeah, he was. He looked like a man out there.
He looked unbelievable.
Yeah, he did. There was some other. Obviously Bedard was electric. I think Shane Wright's a little disappointed. If there's one guy who's really disappointed about the World Juniors being canceled, I think it's Shane Wright. I think he was just finding his stride come the end of that second game, and this is actually his draft year. Yeah. So for a guy like Shane Wright, I mean, I definitely think that he was going to put on a clinic at one point during the tournament, and yeah, I mean, I think that would be incredibly electric to send the World Junior team over to be the Olympic team. I don't think it's going to be the case, but we'll continue to watch that.
Save this clip too, hot take, but I'm saying Shane Wright is Nolan Patrick 2.0.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're saying a bust.
Big time bust, yeah.
Okay, so Shane Wright to be a bust.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I guess we'll let people comment on that. And,
yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's what we're all about here at the Daily Intermission.
I'm just calling it.
I like that.
Calling it early.
I mean, listen, I'm not gonna confirm or deny that statement, but I'm looking forward to monitor it.
We'll be monitoring it.
Max Pacioretty, Nate, out with wrist surgery.
Yep. Tough, very tough.
The Vegas Golden Knights dealing with the injuries left, right, and center.
Yeah. Well, tell me about it, man. I've had Mark Stone on my fantasy team. I think the guy's played like 8 games.
Yeah.
He's been out forever.
Obviously, they don't have Jack Eichel yet. He's out.
Yep.
But they continue to be first place in the Pacific. They continue. I mean, they're a team that is just they have awesome depth, and their decor is incredible. Mm-hmm. Alex Pietrangelo, he's incredible. I don't think. I mean, we obviously talk about Victor Hedman a lot, but Alex Pietrangelo, I think he's kind of in that top tier of top 3-4 defense in the league. Can play offensive, can shut down guys, and Shane Theodore as well. I mean, I think Robin Leonard, his play has gone a little under the radar. He's had a great year as well.
Edmonton battling in that division too, man. They're on a stretch.
Yeah, they are, man. They haven't played as well. They back-to-back overtime losses.
Everyone's calling for the goalies' heads.
Yeah,
I said we need a goalie,
which is just. I mean, you could be a casual fan in grade 6, and look at the roster and say you probably need a goalie if you want to win the Stanley Cup here.
I mean, they're pretty solid all the way through, except for that. I mean, I couldn't believe. I feel like we talked about this a bunch, but just the whole Mike Smith thing. Still, like he obviously had a great year last year, but how long you roll in that?
Yeah, no, so I agree there.
I assume it's something they'll address in the offseason.
Yes, or at the deadline.
Yeah, at the deadline too. There's got to be a goalie out there.
Well, if they're thinking Fleury, how much cap retention are you looking for a guy like Fleury? Or I mean, there's got to be some available goals. I mean, even think about Boston.
Yeah,
for sure. Tuukka Rask coming back.
That is something I've never seen work out though.
What's up?
If that is your issue at the deadline and you got to go get a goalie,
and then they go on to win a cup,
it's just it's not going to happen for you. Like I think back to like Washington went and got Cristobal Huet.
Yeah,
once. It's like, holy shoot. And then they picked up Halak one time at the deadline too.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
You don't see that. That's not the missing piece you need at the deadline. That's
Who else has goalies to spare? Dallas does.
Oh my God, Dallas has a farm.
Yeah. Well,
A goalie farm.
they do.
They have 3.
Yeah.
And I mean, Hudobin's got to be moving.
Yeah.
I think Hudobin's the guy.
Yeah, definitely. I did want to move outside of Vegas and outside of Edmonton to your guy, to Alexander Ovechkin. He is now the all-time NHL leader in power play goals. I don't think it was that much of a surprise. I mean, his staple left top of the circle, left circle. I mean, that's just been his staple for his entirety of his career. I mean, how many goals out of the
He's got 275 power play goals.
Okay.
How many from that circle?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean on the power play.
200?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's where he plays though, so he's going to
exactly.
be around that area. Maybe a few. I can picture a few that were like up close. I'd probably say 200.
Yeah.
Probably 75 in a different spot.
Oh.
Sometimes he switches and goes to Carlson's spot and rips him from the top too.
So does he have the best shot in the history of the NHL?
That's a good question. That's hard to say. I know Brett Hall
Had a
an
shot.
absolute rip, and Alexander Semin as well. A lot of people when they played together, Ovechkin and Semin, they said, "Man, like Ovechkin's shot's ridiculous." They were like, but everyone just sleeps. Like a lot of goalies said, they're like, Semin's shot is better than Ovechkin's.
Okay.
It was ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
But
those righties. Like, it just seems like righties are more sharpshooters than lefties.
Yeah, and I was thinking like if you're like one of the best players ever, you got to be a lefty. You know what I mean? Like to be that like Gretzky kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, like think about it, like Gretzky,
McDavid,
Crosby. I mean, Lemieux obviously is right-handed.
Yeah, right-handed. Yeah.
But yeah, the shooters are always righties. It seems like
Big time.
How many lefty shooters do you see that are just?
Well, I mean, that Olofsson kid's a lefty, isn't he?
Yeah.
He can shoot the puck, and Matthews can shoot the puck.
Yeah, Matthews. Yeah, that's right.
But no, oftentimes, like the heavy shooters are right-handed. I mean,
Got to be something with the hand down at the middle.
Yeah.
I feel like, which I remember we were talking about that one day. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Like I cannot have my bad hand at the top of the stick. I don't know how anyone shoots right like that.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
weird.
Nate, PGA Tour is finally back. It felt like we had a little bit of a break, and obviously the fall swing in the PGA Tour is not overly exciting. No. But this week we've got the Tournament of Champions, the Century Tournament of Champions. It's played at a very exciting course in Hawaii. We'll give out some best bets potentially, but we're really going to dive things into the full field Sony Open the week following. I guess this is a good time for our announcement, Nate. We are going to be doing a one-and-done PGA Tour pool. So how this is going to work is you'll DM us on Instagram. We will get you in the pool. We'll send you the links and stuff. We haven't figured out the entry fee yet, but you're going to pick one golfer every week. And once you use that golfer, you can't use them again, and you will receive...
It's like Survivor Pool style,
Pool style. So you will receive his earnings from the week. So obviously it gets cut. Your earnings will be zero. If he wins the tournament, you'll get the $1.4 million. And whoever accumulates the most amount of earnings come Tour Championship in the fall will win.
Yeah. So you'll be going against the DI.
You'll be going against the DI. You'll be going against a lot of close friends of the DI. So it's going to be really exciting. So if you're a PGA Tour fan, I think make sure you reach out to us and we'll get you in the pool. And obviously it's just once a week. You make your pick and you can follow along with the PGA Tour. And it's just what a landscape the PGA Tour is for sports betting. Every week, and you get the outright wins and the each ways and the group picks. So I love the PGA Tour, and even if you're not a big PGA Tour fan yet, but you want to start to get into it and monitor it.
Good way to get into it. Good way to get into it. I'm super excited for this. It's gonna be super fun.
Yeah.
I wish I could go Sung J M every week, but we know that's not the case.
No, I'm gonna guess, Nate, is Sung J M your guy next week at the Tournament of Champions?
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I haven't seen the beauty play in so long. Man, I was watching YouTube videos on the other day, just watching his tempo.
Oh
God.
It's some of the best, man.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is some of the best. Him and Matsuyama, they just have this great takeaway. This tempo is dropping in the slot like no others.
Yeah.
All right, Nate, we've got a fun little segment today for the listeners and for the watchers. We're doing Can You Name the Number? So we're going to give each other 5 athletes through the sporting worlds, and we are going to see if they can guess the number that they wear in their sport. And so obviously the listeners can listen. Maybe we'll give it a little second between
Let him think about it.
Let him think about it. All right, do you want me to start things off, Nate?
Sure thing.
All right, man. All right, we are going with my guy, David Pastrnak.
David Pastrnak, 88.
Done deal. Nice. Yeah. We'll progressively get harder.
Okay. Mine might be kind of tough all through.
Okay.
We got Dave Anderchuk.
Dave Anderchuk.
Yeah.
Okay. Was he 22?
Oh, man, that's a good guess. 25.
Okay.
Good guess, though, honestly, for a retired guy.
Yeah.
That's a really good guess.
Okay, Nate. Matt Zuccarello.
That's 36, eh?
Wow. Bang. Yep.
Okay, I got a former Bruin here for you.
Okay.
Sergei Samsonov.
Sergei Samsonov. Ooh, this is a good one. I think there was a 7 involved. Was it 47?
No. It was 14.
Oh, okay. That's tough.
So what we've gotten here is you, I think, went with active players, and I've pulled them from, like, my next guy, I think you're going to lose it at.
Okay. Nate, we're going with a guy, Fred VanVleet.
Fred VanVleet. Is it 33?
23.
23.
Nice try.
All right, John Elway.
Let me think here. Was he 10?
7. You're off by 3 every time.
Listen, man. All right, Nate. Matt Ryan.
10, right?
2.
2?
Yeah.
Why did I think 10? Damn. Jorge Posada.
9?
20.
Oh, man.
This is hilarious with all these smokes.
Bo Bichette.
Oh, my God. Okay. Hold on. Oh, my God. I have to know this. I have to think about this for a second. I'm so out of baseball mode. I can picture it. Bo Bichette. It's not 33.
11.
Ah. Jeez. All right, Ronaldinho.
9?
10. Oh, it's good, clean Canadian fun right there.
Well, listen, I'll go with another one. Glenn Murray.
Oh, no. 14.
27.
Oh, yeah, I should have known that. Isn't there a... That's greasy stuff right there, folks. Look at that. We got a signed Glenn Murray right in the back, and I got it wrong.
Oh, no, that's good stuff.
Oh. I'll give you one more.
All right.
Ovechkin.
8.
Alex Semin.
Alex, 22?
28.
Oh, man. Jeff Gordon. NASCAR.
Oh, he's 23.
I think he was.
Yeah, I think it is.
24.
Or is that might be Earnhardt. I can pull it up.
Was he 24?
I don't know. I'm going to look.
All right.
Jeff Gordon.
I like that segment,
That's
though.
fun. Fun. Jeff Gordon. Just want to check this out quick. What number is he? He's 24.
24?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, listen, we appreciate you tuning in as always. We'll be back on Friday for breaking down the past week in sports. And and listen, continue to watch on our TikToks, our Instagram best bets. We'll be giving out probably a golf bet each for an outright winner. It'll be a condensed field, obviously all the winners from last season.
Yeah.
Be throwing out our picks for the Survivor Pool style thing too, for sure.
That's right. Definitely.
That'll probably be my guy of the week.
For sure.
Yeah. So.
For sure. But listen, we we always appreciate your support. We've got some fun news coming, some fun additions to the studio. I mean, it's only about I would say it's 75%. So we're really excited for what 2022 is going to bring. And listen, as always, we really appreciate you guys listening and supporting the Daily Intermission channel. Nate, take it easy, my man.
You too.